Okay, so here is that library video.
This Rutgers Libraries video is a brief introduction to finding and using statistics. You've chosen your topic area and done some background research to better understand the topic broadly. After you formulate your research question, it may be a good time to find some statistics. Statistics can provide evidence that a problem actually exists and describe its effects. Statistics can condense large amounts of information into more manageable pieces. For example, if you were looking at student exam scores, it is unlikely you would want to include all of those scores in your narrative. You would want to include a statistical analysis of the scores. There are a few best practices when using statistics. For example, when you use statistics on a data set, it should include the mean and probably the standard deviation. This is the minimum information needed to get an idea of what the distribution of your data set might look like. How much additional information you include is entirely up to you. In general, use the data that fully describes your topic. More data is not necessarily better. Also, think about your reader. If you include statistics that many of your readers wouldn't understand, consider adding the statistics in a footnote or appendix that explains it in more detail. And if you have lots of statistics to report, you may want to present them in tables or some other visual form. Then highlight statistics of interest in your text. Similar to news articles, social media posts, and information you find on the internet, you need to determine if the data in your research comes from authoritative sources and consider possible bias. One way to approach this is to choose your data from known reputable sources. The data resources in your research guide are primarily government or academic institutions with a high level of authoritativeness. One helpful resource is the National Center for Education Statistics, or NCES, which is the primary federal entity for collecting and analyzing data related to education. The link to NCES is in your research guide. Once you land on the NCES homepage, click on the link Data and Tools, which brings you to a list of topic-specific tools. One helpful tool on the list is Data Lab. Click on the Data Lab link. On the Data Lab landing page, you can choose from the topics on the left. Let's choose Special Education, then Programs and Services. The results include 20 different data sets, including the Schools and Staffing Survey and the School Survey on Crime and Safety. If you are looking for statistics related to politics, social trends, the media and news, or public policy, check out the Pew Research Center website and click on the tab Datasets. If you're facing a hurdle finding the information you need or have any other questions about statistics resources, librarians are here to help. Go to the Get Help tab at the top of the main library page. You can reach a librarian through live chat from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. by email or phone. You can also check out our other tutorials for quick and easy help.
Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for you. I just want to walk you through what else is on this page. If your population is Rutgers, there's a lot of different links here that will help you find more data points about Rutgers University. If you have a county as a main area of focus, here is a resource that will help you find county data. Like the video discussed, there's also the Pew Research Center. There's also state data. So there's a lot of different resources here to kind of help you. So I would make sure that you are checking them out just to help you better define your problem. Going up to the top, there's also a tab on article databases. The databases are how you will find most of your information. So the one thing to be mindful of is that there on the library homepage is a database and it's just a general database. It's kind of like going to a Walmart or a Target. You can kind of find a little bit of everything. But the one thing I need you to know also is that there are subject specific databases. So if your topic is scientific, you'll probably scroll down here to science, and you'll see that Science Direct will have most of those scientific articles for you. And you can see here in these little dark gray boxes that the librarians have sort of categorized different general topics, so you can go to these very specific databases for a topic that you've chosen. The first option that I was talking about is quick search, and that's what happens on the library homepage when you just go there. And then here are a few that are multidisciplinary. You're more than welcome to use Google Scholar. I just wanted to recommend that you use Google Scholar by first logging into the library website. That way, you will be redirected to the Rutgers Library if an article exists in their system. Otherwise, it may prompt you to pay for an article, which you don't want to do. As a student at Rutgers, because we're such a big research university, you will have access to almost any article that you want. So you can see the different categories of databases, and you can look through these in your own time. And the other thing I wanted to point you to, you can watch this in your own time as well. I often will have students asking, is this a scholarly source? Or I'll see their source list and I'll tell them most of your sources are popular. So this is something that I want you to take into consideration as well. You need to make sure that you can differentiate between a scholarly, popular source. So this is a great video to help you do that. So you can watch that in your own time. Transitioning into the paradigm section, remember, these are all of your models of success and your pieces of theory. And this is where you're looking at other populations that are similar to yours and struggling with similar issues. And you're sort of looking at them as a blueprint to see how they've fixed the issue. And then you will in turn use them as your models. So this is a good video on finding articles. You're more than welcome to watch that. It's very helpful. So there's a few different things here. There's a little bit of information here to show how to search, and it talks about the importance of search terms. If you're using a phrase like peer tutoring, anything that's more than one word should go in quotations. You can also use or, which means that it would include either or, and would mean that it would include both terms. There are some keywords listed here that are important when you're looking for models of success or pieces of theory. So these are different words that you can look for in addition to your topic. So you might do something like food insecurity and trial, food insecurity and evidence-based. And this way it'll sort of more specifically direct you to those models of success or pieces of theory that you are looking for. So down further is a really strong explanation, and it has a nice visual of how you are using search terms. So you can see here if you use and for all three of these, so it would be peer tutoring and math and middle school, you're only going to get this when you search, where they all overlap and where all are present in each article. If you use or, you can get literally anything. So just know that. That's a little bit of a broader search. It also just tells you what not to use in a search. But remember, you're not just doing a random search like you would in Google. How does food insecurity start? Because the library website and how you search using databases will not register that. So you need to make sure that you're using search terms, that you're utilizing and or. Going on, there's a section on population. And remember, this is also focusing on your patron. Your patron is your funding source. Your population is what you need to provide data on, showing that the problem exists within that specific population. So here there's a lot of different sources. There's census data, which is very important, and a lot of students often will rely on that. There's also different data for different topics, like the Department of Education, school performance reports. If you're focusing on a high school, it's definitely a good idea to click on that. You can click on a specific high school and get specific data points for student performance, income levels, and a lot of different things like that. On the other side, underneath the red column, you'll see that there are a lot of sources for how to find a funding source. A lot of students will go to different grants or organizations that give grants, and they'll try to see who can I write to that cares about my topic. So make sure that you're trying to find someone who is in alignment regarding your philosophy and your goals. You're not writing to the organization. You will be writing to the person who's in charge of giving the funds. So normally it's a person who's in charge of grants, but your actual paper itself does need to be addressed to a specific person. There's also a bunch of nonprofit resources, and a lot of my students really like when they're looking for organizations or foundations to use this option right here, which is Foundation Directory Online. So just make sure that you are checking that out. There's also a couple of options for Rutgers patrons. It doesn't mean that you have to choose one of these, but it does mean that these are options. I have a lot of students choose an issue that's circled around Rutgers University, but they'll still use a patron from Foundation Directory Online. So just a few options there. The next section is the price and budget section. And this is a video that I would like you to watch, so I will play this for you.
Hi, this Rutgers Libraries video is a brief introduction to research for proposal budgets. By this point, you have researched an issue, found supporting data and models of success, and have developed an idea. It may be a good time to begin assembling your budget. A budget is a categorical list of anticipated project costs that represent the best estimates of the funds needed to support the proposal, and it also serves as a blueprint for project spending. Budget information about activities and personnel gives reviewers an inside look into how the project will be structured and managed. The details of a budget usually reveal whether a proposed project has been carefully planned and may ultimately be feasible. The budget should include all costs of any personnel, supplies, and activities based upon actual costs when possible. The decisions made now at the proposal stage will continue through the life of the project, so it is time well spent to prepare a reasonable budget. One helpful resource for salary information is the Occupational Outlook Handbook, which is a publication of the United States Department of Labor's Bureau of Labor Statistics. The handbook is broken up into clusters of occupational groups on the left-hand side of the homepage. You can use the A to Z index if you know the specific occupation, or you can search for the occupation by using the Select or drop-down menus. Let's say your proposal includes an administrative assistant. You can click on Office and Administrative Support on the home page, then Secretaries and Administrative Assistants, then State and Area Data, then finally Administrative Assistants. On this page, you can choose the mean or average salary by region. You can calculate computer equipment and office supplies from retail stores and find commercial lease pricing on commercial real estate websites, like this one, showing available commercial leases in New Brunswick. If you're facing a hurdle finding the information you need or have any other questions about budget resources, librarians are here to help. Go to the Get Help tab at the top of the main library page. You can reach a librarian through live chat from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., by email, or by phone. You can also check out our other tutorials for quick and easy help.
Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. You'll see eventually once you create your plans based off of your models of success and pieces of theory, you might need to hire someone, you might need to rent a space, you might need to pay a marketing team. There's a lot of different things you might need to pay for. So on the right, you'll see that they've sort of categorize different elements that you might need. So salary information, facilities and administrative rates, office supplies, anything like that. So make sure that you are checking this out for your budget.